welcome to UpLift Women's Wellness. I'm Bethany Busch, founder of Head to Toe Strength.
And I'm Auria Zahed, a licensed marriage and family therapist. We're here to empower and inspire women to thrive through holistic wellness.
Each week, we'll dive into topics like fitness, mental health, and personal growth.
And share real conversations and actionable insights to help you live your strongest, healthiest life.
Thanks for tuning in. Let's get started.
Bethany, so there is a quote going around online that I feel like I've been sharing a lot with clients lately, and I kind of want to know what you think, because I love it. Okay, so this person who I don't know, her name is Melanie Lau, and this is what she said. Western cultures believe we must be alive for a purpose, to work, to make money. Some indigenous cultures believe we're alive just as nature is alive, to be here, to be beautiful and strange. We don't need to achieve anything to be valid in our humanness. I just love that so much. But I definitely come from a camp of like, humans were not put here just for the grind. There's so much more that we could be accomplishing, but we're too busy grinding. So I just love that. And she just said, like, you know, as nature is alive, so like we look at a tree and we just admire the tree. We don't expect the tree to make six figures.
No, because the tree doesn't have to pay rent in the plot of land that it sits on in Orange County.
I know. I know. That's what's frustrating to me. This is why, you know, in a work-life balance avenue, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is.
Now, I don't agree
Ooh, okay.
that passion and purpose equates to grind and money.
Okay.
Because, like, this is what I'm passionate about, of, like,
Yeah.
helping people. And it's a gift that I have to, like, empathize and be in it with other people, which makes me passionate about it. But I'm not, like, yes, I am now gratefully able to do it, to attempt to make a living. But
yeah.
And I'm driven just because I know that I have bills, but I'm not passion and purpose driven for the dollar. I'm passion and purpose driven to change the world and to help as many people as I possibly can.
Yes, I believe that.
So I don't know where that falls, because that is my nature.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's the things that's happened to me that we've already talked about, but I also think it's like in who I am.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what's because, like, I would say I agree. Is if I could be a therapist for free, I would. But the grind comes in, Bethany, like for us as people who see clients, is like you and I can't just see one or two clients and survive.
No.
So that's where we have to grind.
Yes, that's where we have to grind.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a choice.
Right. And both of us, separately from, I think, a lot of people, we got our master's degrees in things that we knew we could use in our careers.
Oh, yeah. Why would I spend that much money and go through that much stress and nervous breakdowns to be like, I can't actually use it though, but I decided to go get it, but I'm not going to do anything remotely close to it. I would I'd die. No.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't use their bachelor degrees. And then I think people only, well, for the most part, get master's degrees knowing that that is where their career path is.
See, and I got a master's that I didn't need, that isn't required for me to go anywhere or do anything.
What?
But I took an intro to exercise physiology class, and I loved it so much that I couldn't get enough.
Wait, what's your master's in then?
Exercise physiology.
Oh.
Sport and exercise science, exercise physiology. But that's not why I got it.
Oh, you just got it for fun.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, what were you saying?
So let's just say, let's break fitness and nutrition down to its bare bones. You walk into a Planet Fitness and you get a trainer.
Okay, yeah.
That person most likely has a high school diploma.
Okay.
Period.
Okay, yeah.
And then spent a weekend studying, took said test, now is responsible for your life and taking care of you. And you're going to now put all of your stuff on this high school graduate. Nothing wrong with being a high school graduate. But in the realm of fitness, that's kind of, if you don't branch out, like I wanted to do corporate wellness. I wanted to work at my dream, or the original one of them was to work at one of the big tech companies, because they all have gyms, they all find wellness, they all find health so important, also so that, you know, the coding, whatever, gets done all the time and whatever, but it's a part of their package, like their hiring package.
Got it.
How many amenities, when you go and interview at said company, how many amenities am I getting?
Right.
And so, and in Colorado and in Michigan, I was able to like start getting into what corporate wellness looks like. And because of the way that I never took care of myself as a workaholic, that I just felt the need. So I got my master's to help me get ahead of the curve. But typically you don't, because it's like personal trainer, professor, fitness instructor. Granted, I'm being very, very vague and very like column-y.
Yeah.
Because there's obviously specialties and all that. But when you get a bachelor's in exercise science, most of the time you go to physical therapy school, or you know, PA school, or so like none of what I have is a requirement to do my job.
I see. Okay, I see what you're saying. I get it now.
So I did it to get a leg up and to gain more, but also I kind of fell in love with physiology and apparently wanted to die every day studying it and feel like a failure on all the time to get it. But now, like at this point, I have people that when I was up on the board on a Biggs Box gym would look at their credentials and go, I trust her.
Yes. Totally.
With a face and a list of letters.
Yeah.
And go, I trust this person with my life.
Yeah.
And that's important to me.
Oh.
Because I was never going to be a personal trainer or a trainer of any kind ever at all.
Oh.
I was never going to own my own company. I was never going to be a small business owner. None of this was part of the quote unquote dream plan 10 years ago.
That's so wild to me, because you're doing such a good job with all of it.
Thank you. I'm trying.
Yes. No, you're doing amazing. Yeah. Okay, but for me, growing up, I really valued, or I noticed I valued time more than I wanted to get paid well. And even when I was the 13-year-old Auria, knowing she wanted to be an LMFT, I knew I was going to have a set schedule set by me. And I knew that I would not be working 8 hours a day. Some therapists do, but I don't think it's that common. It was like, even at 13, I knew therapists didn't work 8 hours a day. And
you and I are not the same person.
I know, it's so funny. Yes, I like how much time I don't work. And that's the best part of my day. I love seeing my clients, and then I love not seeing my clients and being able to rest. But something important to me that I've even said out loud a lot is I don't want my Monday morning client and my Friday night client to feel any different with who they're getting. So it is important for me to rest and not power through the week and only rest on weekends. I work hard, rest hard. But I know, so that kind of balance is very important to me. But I know most people do not work as few hours as I can manage.
Or understand. Because even as a high school kid, it was athletics, school, and travel ball, and I was
busy.
Essentially, I've always had 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Always busy. No, you're probably going to tell me that's my trauma and my perfectionism and my need to perform. But
yeah, good job, Bethany.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you, LMFT. But I don't rest, and I know that I'm bad at it.
Okay.
And I did work really, really hard, but I have to work myself to death to rest because my body doesn't let me do it, and it hurts.
So so like maybe you're not a rester, but how do you have a work-life balance?
Right now, I don't.
You don't?
There isn't one.
Do you feel like burned out at all, or are you okay?
Honestly, that's ebbing and flowing.
Okay.
Because of being a small business owner, you wear a lot of hats. So it's not like I get to do the research, the science, the client-facing stuff. That's not my full-time job, because then it's growing, it's getting ambassadorships, it's marketing, it's financials, it's all the small business things.
Yeah. You're working all the time, but it's different kinds of work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I also don't want my clients to get a lesser version of what I give, because it's obvious if they get a lesser version, because their workouts then all of a sudden make sense and they're not weird and odd and what are we doing and why is my leg over there and why am I balancing this way?
Are you saying we don't do that?
No, you do.
Okay, we do. Okay.
No, you do. But if
do.
that stopped,
okay.
You'd be like,
it would be confusing.
Where'd you get this workout from? Because this isn't you.
Okay. Yes.
And I don't want to lose that. So it's trying to find balance in growing this to help as many women across the United States as we possibly can.
Yeah.
But also still showing up 100%, like you said, from my 3 o'clock client until my 9 o'clock client.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, granted, I just get more delusional and more hilarious, but it's not like the science stops.
Yeah.
But there's always 50 tabs going in my head of like, I got to do this and I got to do that.
Okay. But do you feel like now that you say that, and you also mentioned that when you were a kid, it wasn't that different with how much you had on your plate. So with the busyness and the 50 tabs open, you're not nervous about how you're going to feel in like 10, 20, 30 years, right?
No.
Okay. Because it's just part of you.
I honestly don't. I don't know if I'll be able to like I want the beach house and I want to walk, but it's like I want to walk on the beach every day. I want to be able to sit on my roof and drink coffee if I can handle it, and work and walk my dog, and then go downstairs to my own personal gym. Like no part of it's like I just want to do nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, I just want to read a book all day. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I will
Okay.
run out of my own skin.
You would hate that. Yeah. Okay.
Like, I can do it for a little while.
Yeah.
And I have to force myself, and I have to find a book that's horrifically graphic and really fucked up to then keep me engaged. Because otherwise I'm like, well, this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, and that's going to happen. Okay, I just predicted the whole book. Great.
Okay.
Now I'm bored.
Got it. Yes. Okay. So your self-care is activities that you love, right? No.
Is video gaming considered an activity?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then yes.
Okay. See, okay. So you're like a hobby person. So you like work and then hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I ride bikes, and my
Yeah.
work now is my hobby, and my hobby is my work, and
But
then
so
I play
that-
video games and.
Yes. So you are busy, but you still have a work-life balance. It's just work and hobby versus mine, which is work and rest.
Oh.
Yeah. So you need to kind of like clear your brain out and show yourself love. Your self-care is with your activities. My self-care is I'm going to have my dog give me a good squeeze, and then I'm going to take him for a walk. And maybe I'll do notes when I'm ready for that. But I mostly like to just chill.
Which means doing what?
I will drink coffee in silence. I will look out the window at the trees. I will, play a game with my dog, maybe, depending. Yeah, but it's like it's the opposite of doing therapy, basically. My brain can just like be completely in the moment. I don't have to be using any psychology knowledge of any kind. I don't have to be processing any information. I can just be.
I've never known how to do that.
Really? Okay, so okay, when you walk on the beach, is your head clear and in the moment?
No.
What? Oh my gosh, how interesting.
Where I feel like I can fully think. Where I can feel like
Ooh.
I can fully like imagine and picture and dream and craft and design and organize and
Okay.
plan. It's like where I can feel like I can breathe. That's why, and I think that's why I want a beach house so bad.
Yes.
Because if I can just sit there and see it, smell it, hear it,
Yeah.
and then because it's my happy place and it's where I feel like I can like exist.
Mm-hmm.
And the scientist in me is like, oh, because of all the free radicals, because you've got hydrogen and oxygen and blah 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 blah. And the grounding people are going to be like, yes.
Oh my god.
Because how you get your toes in the sand and
Yes.
yahoo dooey, yeah.
No. One of my favorite feelings in the whole world is walking on wet sand.
Well, heck yeah.
It's the best, right?
Walking on dry sand is hard.
Oh. Well, yeah. And in California, it's also very hot.
So hot. It's
Too
like
hot. Yeah.
And then when you're dragging, the dog is dragging you, it's even more fun.
Oh my gosh, I bet.
Who's a big squish.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I'm not like empty. And a lot of the times, actually,
Mm-hmm.
when I go and walk the beach, I'll put on some science-y podcast of some kind. Because like I like Dr. Peter Attia and I like Dr. Huberman.
Yeah.
And I'll put on that. And then I feel like I can fully absorb. Why are you rolling your eyes at me? I can fully absorb all the information
So funny.
that they are giving me.
So funny. Okay, this is what I'm picturing.
Oh gosh.
This is Bethany's work-life balance. When Bethany's at work, brain runs 100 miles an hour. When Bethany's at quote unquote rest, which is hobby-esque, 50 miles an hour. But never not running.
No.
No.
I don't think because I was born into trauma, I don't think I
You
will
can't
ever
stop.
I don't think I'll ever find that.
Can't stop, won't
I don't know
stop.
what'll happen if like I win the lottery and I become a millionaire. I'm not going to stop working.
Okay.
Like, I'm not going to stop. Like, cool, I have a
Interesting.
millionaire. And then I was like, okay, student loan, dream car, dream house. Now what? Invest?
Oh my gosh, how funny.
Like, I'm not going to not work.
Yeah. Okay.
Because what am I supposed to do? Piddle paddle around my house all day with Dakota?
Mm-hmm.
No, then I'm going to go ride my bike more and walk more and probably start running again like an idiot and like go fill it with stuff.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we are so different. I would not stop working if I won the lottery, but only because I like being a therapist so much. But I wouldn't see as many clients a week.
Well, and I also love what I do too.
You do.
And I would have a
Well, you do.
content creator and an assistant. And
Yes, you would hire people to
I would
help
hire
you.
people and just tell me where to go and what to be so that I can be a scientist and be a nerd.
Yeah.
You do the artsy fartsy stuff
Yeah.
that I can do, but
Yeah. You can do, but
I can do.
it's not your favorite.
No. But it's
No.
like that whole like, oh my gosh, I need to win the lottery. I need to marry somebody rich. And I'm like, but what does that do? Yeah, that maybe upgrades my life a little. And I don't worry about when my next meal's coming in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not going to change my life. I'll just
No.
get to breathe a little bit because I won't need to worry about if electric bill is going to get paid this month or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the people who do marry people who are rich, I haven't heard that many people say good things about it.
Well, no, because you're not marrying for any type of good
Yeah.
reason. You're getting married for a selfish reason to take advantage of another person.
Yeah, but also there's the other end on like some people hold that against the person.
Yeah.
You know?
You're a gold digger.
Yeah. Well, that, but like, if you ever leave me, you'll have nothing. Like those kind of statements.
Oh, yeah. Well, those are narcissists.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course.
How many humble millionaire
Of
and
course.
billionaires do you know?
None.
Mm-hmm.
None. Okay, but with general work-life balance, because I think, do you feel like a lot of people are 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday? Like, what do you think that that's the majority?
In my client pool, if we're going to take my
Mhm.
client pool, yeah, I think you're the only one.
Okay, yeah, I think in my client pool, yes, except for full-time students. So if we were to,
Yeah, if we're going to factor in a full-time student, that's different.
yeah. Okay, so in general, okay, if you're not a student,
Yeah, if you're an adult
if you are an adult,
who's not a student of any kind,
you were probably working the 8-hour day and
or 410s.
or 410s, which is still a lot. You know, Bethany, you and I did experience that for many years. Did you have a work-life balance? Sorry, for you, I shouldn't say work-life balance. I should say work-hobby balance.
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
How did you?
Because I've never had one job. Because I've never been financially capable of having one job, living, putting myself through college, and paying all my bills,
Yeah.
and just being able to like it's a joke amongst all of my friends.
Yeah.
Of like, what do you? Because I was up to like 5 or 6 at one point in time with my side hustles.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Bethany.
So I had like the 40-hour-a-week job that gave me the benefits and the paycheck and the hourly wage and this and that. And then I had the weekend job. And then I had all the little side hustle jobs like massage therapy and pitching coach and softball lessons and softball coach and blah, 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 blah. And all of that. So it's kind of always been a joke that I'm always trying to make money. And I'm always just squirreling away, working myself to death. But I look at it as a side of how else are you supposed to get out of that pit? Because, like, if you just get a high school diploma,
Yeah.
the options, now granted, it's obviously there's been a huge shift, but when I graduated from high school, you'd work retail, you'd work like warehousing, manufacturing.
Yeah.
And I think that's basically it, because everything you had to have experience
Right.
and or a
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah.
High school students don't get that. Yeah, I
No.
did the mall jobs and everything, but
Yeah. I read somewhere that Gen Z is having a really hard time because they're coming out of school and then everybody's asking for experience. And the clients that I do have that are students are like, I need internships. So then when I apply to places, I have the experience part too. It's really
well, even
different.
in undergrad, trying to apply within the fitness field
Yeah.
without taking some test of some kind, you can clean equipment or work a cash register. Even
Oh.
though I'm in the middle or at the end of a bachelor's degree
Yeah.
and have been studying this crap for however many years,
Yeah.
because I don't take the test and I couldn't pay the extra 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 to pay for the test to then try and get the job.
Wow. Yeah.
I've cleaned equipment at multiple gyms. Because
Wow.
with a almost bachelor's, and thankfully, like my undergrad, you had to do field work, which was like a 1 semester thing, and you had to get X amount of hours, and then you had to do an internship. But so was my grad program. My grad program, you had to do an internship too, I think, or I can't remember, or research, because I chose the
Yeah.
non-research route. Because like mine, I chose the applicable route, not the research route, so that I could actually use it in day-to-day life.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
But yeah, the number of times like, well, you don't have the experience. It's like, but I've been studying it.
Yeah.
What's your qualification?
And how are you supposed to get experience if no one will hire you?
Well, and a lot of that, when I was originally going to be a biomedical sciences sports medicine doctor, it was who you knew.
Yeah.
Like the only way to get a job at the hospital, at the big hospital, you had to know someone who knows someone who knows someone in HR and get you in. It's like,
wow.
You're going to train me.
My gosh.
But I'm also not opposed to going back and being a receptionist. Like, I've done it and it's hard, and at this point I don't know if I could. But since it was, that type of job for so long, that when I do get really desperate,
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever, I'll answer phones.
Yes.
And then they're like, you really should have a master's degree, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Don't you think I'm probably here for a reason?
Right. Well, the thing with being a receptionist, this is what's just bothersome about this country. Being a receptionist is a legit job.
Of course.
But they don't end up paying their bills.
No.
They usually have to get a second job.
Yep.
It's incredibly frustrating to me because even with you, yeah, you'd go back, but you'd still do all your master's degree stuff too.
Yep.
So it's really hard. Like, as much as I want to preach work-life balance, I feel like there's so many people that are doing what you did where they're working 2 jobs.
Because what choice do you have?
You don't have a choice.
And I have lived in 3 states.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anybody says. And if anybody brings this up to me, I'm like, it does not matter. It's relative. Because if you can make $100K in California which is equivalent to, I don't know, 55K or whatever, 50K, 35K
Yeah.
in this state,
Yeah.
the bills are still the same.
Right.
Milk still costs this here. Gas still costs this there. Like, no matter what anybody says, unless you're able to get overpaid in that part of the country by X amount of dollars, it's the same, because the warehouse job here pays the equivalent pay that the warehouse job there paid, and then the retail job here pays the equivalent of what the retail job there pays. So it's like the number of times people are like, oh my gosh, you live in such an expensive state. And I'm like, I don't say that. It's expensive, yeah. But it's relative, and I've never lived any differently.
Yes, totally.
It's like,
yes, I agree. I see prices in other states, but then I also see salary rates in other states. And for me, I got to work in Orange County, and then I got to work in San Francisco. And two probably top most expensive places in the United States. And there was even a price difference between how much I was making for the same kind of work just because I moved up to San Francisco. The trick would be get a San Francisco job and then go live in Kansas.
Exactly.
No one can do that, though.
No.
Like, that's pretty complicated.
Exactly. Like, the ability to do that, that's where it's like, oh, you just need to leave California. I have lived elsewhere. I'm actually the most successful here that I ever have been. So, yes, is it hard? Yes, is it a struggle? Yes, but it's always, every single step has been an upgrade.
Yeah.
Am I still doing 10 billion jobs? Yeah. But I'm also, for the first time in a very long time, trying to make my own business dream job into an empowering, inspiring, female-based movement. So, career suicide for me, and move elsewhere.
Yeah.
And go back to working in an office and be a manager and not use my degree at all, like you said earlier.
Right. And you would lose all your clients.
And I lose all my clientele.
Yeah. And even with the rate of pay, it's similar. Like, if I was a therapist in a different state, I would not get to make the same hourly rate. If you were a exercise physiologist in a different state, you wouldn't get to make the same hourly rate.
If they even hire them.
Yeah.
Because, like, here, and we've talked before that it's cardiac rehab and it's like married into recovery and rehabilitation. That's not commonplace. That's not commonplace. So a lot of things that happen here, so it's like, I'm the worst person to talk to when someone's like going off and they're complaining and they're whining and they're crying and they're, my gosh, it's so expensive. Because I'm like, you're going to have the same exact thing if you live in Iowa.
Yeah.
Because the job where you're customer service in Iowa, you're going to get paid what customer service in Iowa gets paid.
Exactly.
And now, cool, you bought a house. You now have to pay for all of said problems.
Yep. Yes. And it's not cheap.
So, does it suck having to work all the time? Yeah. But I'm more successful now.
Yeah.
So, in my mind, I look at it, and because maybe this is where my whole like mantra comes from, is I look at it as like athletics. Simone Biles did not become Simone Biles by spending 7 days on the couch 1 hour a day in the gym. Serena, Venus, Michael Jordan, pick one.
Yeah.
Any of the GOATs.
Yeah.
Of any of them.
Yeah.
And it maybe that's the mentality, because I am an athlete, because I am always trying to better myself. I always try to be a better person. I always try to be a better friend. But you don't achieve the dream if you also aren't willing to put in the work, in my head personally.
Yes. And I would say that I 1,000% agree. But I also would say that the work should also not be at the detriment of anyone's mental health.
Oh, well, yes.
Right?
And I will put my mental health on the shelf anytime I can.
Like top shelf.
Like I can't touch it. Like I put it away.
Wait,
Like, oh, I'll deal with it later.
What? That's bad.
I know. That's why I'm saying it.
Oh, I thought you meant the shelf like a trophy.
No. No, the shelf of like,
Bethany.
I'll deal with that later. I'll deal with
Oh,
that when I have more money, or I'll deal with that. Like it's one of
oh my goodness.
Now this is what I preach to my clients as well.
Okay.
I do as I say, not as I do, but I do move my body 4 or 5 days a week because I do shepherd a lot of weights.
Yes, you do.
And I walk my daughter 4 times a day.
Yeah.
And go to the park, and now I'm throwing balls again, so there we go. But like if it's mental health, if it's mindfulness, if it's food, those are my things.
Okay.
That I immediately go
to the side
first.
Wow.
And I'm the one preaching it to my clients.
I know, Bethany.
I know, Auria.
Oh my God. So my mental health is always first. But I do understand that like I am in a financially comfortable position where I can do that. Did I work my butt off to make sure that I had a career where I could do a lot of resting? Yes. Like, and even now I don't have kids, so like I could technically be out all day. But my mental health is so much more important to me. And I made sure that I wouldn't need to have like a 12-hour a day job.
And I have always 15, 12. 12 is like the bare minimum between double jobs.
That is so crazy.
In a day. I've even done 2 8-hour-a-day jobs and then driven to class.
Stop.
Oh, I'm lucky I'm alive. I fell asleep on the freeway a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is so bad, Bethany.
Because I'd work 16 hours, take naps here and there, go to class, and then do it all over again. Day in and day out.
I understand.
But it's appalling.
Why you had to do that. I get it. But I don't wish that upon anyone.
Well, nobody would wish that upon anyone.
I know, but it just makes me sad because I don't feel like you were the only one who had to go through that.
Of course not.
And I like personally, I hear about the way Europe takes care of a lot of stuff for people. And like that's what makes me upset about our grind because it is very American.
But when I've studied that too, because like how we talked about like healthcare and detriments of health and all of that.
Yeah.
So with studying different healthcare systems, you find out that maternity leave is a year. And you can't put a kid in daycare. So like all of the spouses that are overseas, military, there's no daycare like off base.
Okay. Yeah.
For them to put their kids in after the 16 weeks or 20 weeks. Because maternity and paternity leave is like a year to 2 years to 18 months to whatever.
Wow.
On top of the whole hospital stay, medical, whatever is paid for. Granted, taxes, yeah, whatever. People can get all like nitpicky about it all they want.
Yeah.
But you get, this is leave.
Wow.
From said job.
In your studies, have you been privy to people's last comments on their deathbeds? And how they say, like, never about, I wish I worked more. Never about, I wish I had more money.
Well, what was it that, what quote was just flying around that you and I literally talked about, which is what inspired this whole entire conversation.
That me and you talked about?
Yeah, a few weeks ago where it's like no one on their deathbed is saying, man, I wish I would have made an extra $5,000 per year.
No one talks about money. Like the like number one things, if I remember correctly, was I wish I lived for myself and I didn't listen to society, or I didn't listen to my family and I just did what I wanted to do. And then another one was I wish I spent more time with my family and friends. It was never about work, but like our lives, you know, and we talked about this too. And now I don't remember what podcast. Crap. But
one of the episodes.
One of the episodes.
One of those episodes that you should go listen to, because there's a whole bunch now.
There's a few now.
Go enjoy, because our voices are amazing.
It was the one about choosing not to be moms.
Oh, okay.
That episode we talked about how we're out of the house working as a society, not me and you now. Minimum 8 hours a day plus the commute. And so like our lives are really our jobs, like chunk wise, for 40, 50 years.
And caveat for me, since I already feel like I have an expiration date, let's cut that in half.
Yeah. I hope you're wrong, but yeah, I understand.
Just the mental, like,
I know.
The mind fuck of it all.
Yes, I know.
And I'm sorry, but all these assholes that say if you work from home, you don't do shit, can kiss my fucking ass. Because I get 100,000 times more done, 100,000 times more things done when I'm at home than I ever did sitting my butt under fluorescence at a desk with walls.
Oh my gosh.
Because every 30 seconds, someone is in my office or at my cubicle.
Yeah, people would talk to you for hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah. And not about work.
Not always about work, no.
No. Yeah, that would happen to me. I would be in my cubicle, you know, and there's like 3 walls. So everyone would come, chit chat. And it's like, it's rude to say, like, I would like to work instead of talk to you.
Yes, because societally, that's, what's your problem? Like, relax, chill. And then we work from home and we're like banking it. And it's like, no, you're not productive enough. Like,
that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Because when I'm at home, no one's talking to me.
No, I'm talking to myself and my dog.
Yeah.
And I've also set, now granted, we've already established I'm a weirdo and I'm a different type of human.
Yep.
But I have a set list of accomplishments for myself. I'm not getting paid for any of this.
I know.
You know, so it's like, I'm sorry. The number of people are like, oh yeah, you're more productive if you worked in an office. But like, bitch, if I had my own building, I'd be doing the same shit. My butt would either be in my house or in said building by myself doing said things.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And I think if there are people that they are worried about, that's not you are behaving like this because you're working from home. That's like you're not into your job for whatever reason. And that should be the conversation.
That's you're not the right candidate for the position.
Yeah. Or
we made a big mistake in hiring you because this is not a position for you. And you should be on a performance improvement plan and then bye-bye.
Yeah. And it's not fair that those couple of people are making other people think that the office is better. It's very strange. It's not. And no one likes commuting. I have never met a single human that's like, I love my drive to work. I love my drive home from work. I love taking public transportation. Because that is so much of your time for nothing. And you don't get paid for those hours.
Which is interesting. Because like, if you travel and you're a salesperson, that counts.
Yeah.
But all of us that drive to the office every single day and pay for the gas and pay for the mileage and the wear and tear on the vehicles, that doesn't count. But I'm like, because he travels to different offices or she travels to different offices every day, that counts.
That's a really good point.
But my travel here to this building
Yeah.
every day. That doesn't count because that's assumed. Excuse me, what?
Wow.
Did anybody take that into consideration? Like when you're figuring out your compensation,
Mm-hmm.
vacation time, benefits,
Yeah.
not pizza in the break room once a week.
Yeah.
That does not count.
No.
That means we don't want to pay you more because we don't find you valuable. Here's free shitty food.
Here's the pizza. Yeah. And like, speaking of what you need to take into account, housing is so expensive, especially since COVID, that people have left the cities. More people are miles away, and now they're saying, come back to the office. So sure, now I have a 3-hour commute because I couldn't afford anything in the city.
And childcare.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And now, like, let's say you're a single mom or dad and you were working remote. So then you were able to, like, take your lunch and, you know, take the toddler to the doctor's appointment or pick up in school drop off or whatever. And now come back to the office. You're not productive.
Wow.
As you moved away to be more financially fiscal because the company won't pay you enough to compensate how fast the housing market and life expenses are, so that you move 50 miles away,
right,
for them 4 years later to change their mind, go, never mind, you suck, you're not productive, come back in the office. So now you are commuting more, you're spending more in gas, and now you're back to dumping all your money into childcare. And it's like,
seriously.
Because at least when you are working from home and you have a spouse or you have a partner, you can manipulate, because then you can work later. Let's say you have an option and your salary and you can work a later shift, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Because you work with people in a different country.
Yeah.
So now.
Exactly. You can kind of shift
there's
around.
Your yin and your yang.
Yeah.
It's almost like when we. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was just saying it just makes me so sad. Like if people created the perfect at-home schedule and then were asked to go back in the office.
Like, I'm experiencing that with a number of clients right now.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That
and
makes
it's
me sad.
The nonstop change of it and the unpredictability of it, but also, so we're preaching work-life balance, right?
Hopefully, yeah.
I mean, trying to. I'm not an example. Please, nobody follow my example.
Please don't.
I'm just hustling and trying to live. Actually, go to our website and pay me, and I will happily pour into you.
That's true.
I will give you 150% of myself, but I won't do it to me.
Yeah.
But, work-life balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's considered lazy in America.
I know.
Or to any American company, whether they manufacture overseas or not. If someone here thought it up, is like, no, it needs to be this to this because we've been doing it since, I don't know, the industrial age. And things have worked oh so well since then. It's like, I literally quoted this today to one of my clients. I was like, that's the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
We keep doing the exact same mold.
I know.
That's broken.
Over and over and over and over.
And none of the dishes are coming out right. And yet we're like, don't want to fix the mold though.
Seriously.
It's the plates and it's the material and it's all the stuff that goes into it. It's not the mold.
I know.
Of what you have labeled as productive.
Right.
And beneficial and fiscally and financially relevant.
I know.
And again, with all of my data bullshit, like ROI and everything, and when you actually give someone unlimited PTO or unlimited sick time, or you actually get less sick days, more money, less money spent on healthcare, X, Y, and Z. And when you offer more amenities, you get more from your employees.
Right.
But only certain industries and certain companies see it that way.
Wow. Yeah. Really good point.
And that's the problem to me with knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's so many flaws. I can't do shit about it.
So many flaws. So many flaws. Yeah, and there's a lot of talk right now of, billionaires and everyone's working. No one's getting raises, but CEOs are getting raises and billionaires are getting raises, and it's like this is not working, but it's those people in power that get to choose what everyone else's lives look like when it comes to work.
Well, yeah, they also have the mold and they hold on to it and they go,
yes,
I designed it, which means it works.
Mm-hmm.
So you just listen to me. Not like, hey, maybe what if we like try this mold?
Yeah.
So I think it'll be more substantial. Nope, won't work. You haven't even tried.
I know. It's very disappointing.
It's very disappointing, but that's why the death rate of CEOs is 40 years old and 50 years old of heart attack and stroke or whatever other stress related.
Because they're stressed.
Yeah, because it's nonstop chronic stress. Yeah, we've got cancer. Yeah, but does anybody ever wonder why heart disease is one of the top killers in the United States?
Because we're stressed.
Because it's chronic stress.
Yeah. All the time stressed.
All the time stressed. You're running from the tiger 100% of the time.
Yeah.
You're never in the cave just resting and digesting. You're constantly, because the person that cut you off in traffic is the tiger.
Right.
The cop that just drove by you is the tiger.
Right.
The fact that your manager walked by your office is the tiger.
Not being able to afford anything.
Not being able to afford anything
is the tiger.
Is the tiger.
That makes sense. That is why work-life balance is so important, because it is important with work and balancing that out with self-care, but just like having very intentional moments of no stress. Right?
Yes. At least, I'm sorry, and I use this a lot, if you can sit on the toilet on whatever social media platform for 45 minutes, get in there, take the shit, grab your social media platform, and spend the same amount of time outside.
Yeah.
At least you're getting the benefits of the optic nerve stimulation and then vitamin D and grounding and blah, 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 blah. But
Bethany,
it's like,
hold on though. Like you say those things like everyone would know them. Like really, like what is the benefit of going outside instead of scrolling?
Well, even if you're scrolling outside, let's say we're so addicted to these little, I don't remember how big they are, 5x7 things in our hands.
Okay.
Inches, not feet. But just being outside.
Yeah.
It's beneficial for the circadian rhythm because your body knows if you stay up to 4 o'clock in the morning with fluorescent lights, your body still views that as sunshine.
Oh.
Now, if you see the sun come up, granted, I don't anymore because fuck that.
Okay.
If you see the sun come up and you see the sun go down, naturally from a biological state, your brain knows the circadian rhythm because of where your optic nerve runs through that part of your brain.
Oh.
So based on that, the way your sockets and your nerves and your eyeballs are designed, I'm not going to be able to quote that because I'm not a brain surgeon and I don't study the brain. That's your job.
That's fine. Not like that, I don't.
But it stimulates that part of the brain where that's why seasonal affectiveness disorder is so cataclysmic. Because when you're not stimulating with the sun rays and the birds and the fresh air and the grass and the sounds, you can still be mindlessly on your scrolling.
Okay.
But you're getting all the benefits whether you know it or not. If you literally go sit outside in the grass, if you're not allergic, or on a bench or whatever, for like 5 minutes, you will feel better.
Wow. That's cool.
Because it's being in nature.
Yes.
It's part of our cohesive existence.
Yes, like the quote I started this conversation with.
Yes.
And why I love looking at trees. I love leaves on trees so much.
But
And
like there's
yeah.
actual benefit to your circulatory system, to your emotional system, to your digestive system.
Wow.
Let's say you're having a problem and that's why you're scrolling for 45 minutes on the
Yeah.
toilet.
Yeah.
That's why you're having that problem.
Okay, I don't get the second half.
So if you're sitting on the toilet scrolling, right?
Yeah.
Did the porcelain goddess exist for our entire existence as a human race?
Nope.
How did we go to the bathroom?
In holes.
In holes in ground.
Yeah.
What does that require?
Going outside.
And
Squatting.
squatting.
Mm.
Which means, how do you think your organs line up, similar to your spinal cord and your spinal column, when you squat
Yeah.
to take a shit
Yeah.
outside in nature?
Uh-huh.
Now you're sitting, going from your bed, which you're flat or seated or sitting up or whatever based on your health concern,
Totally.
or you're sleeping in a chair or whatever,
Yeah.
to a couch, to a kitchen table, to a car, to a desk, to a
Yeah.
toilet. How on earth, if the extent of walking is from point A to point B of car, car to door, door to couch, couch to bed, bed to toilet, when are your organs getting taken care of? Because in my mind, they're squooshed all day. And you're now dehydrated because you've had 15 different iced coffees.
Yeah.
Walk outside for 5 minutes and tell me if you can take a shit. Better. Is a roundabout way of saying that.
Okay.
But that's kind of like,
Yes. Well, a lot of benefits to going outside.
but gastrointestinal problems because of the chronic stress are also a huge problem.
Oh.
And you dip into the toilet to take a break from the shitty job
Yeah.
to then doom scroll.
Yeah.
Now you're
Okay.
perpetuating the problem.
I see. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Sorry if that was boring.
No, it was super not boring.
And thank you for telling me that this is not common knowledge, because I forget these things.
Yeah, it's not. Like, I don't know the benefits of going outside. I just know that there are benefits to going outside and that I like going outside. Like that's like the extent that I know. But why I always bring up trees and leaves is because in my home there is a very specific view of this one tree, and I don't know what type it is, but it has so many leaves that the leaves are even in the bark.
Huh?
Yeah, I know. It's weird, but it's gorgeous. It's just like very leafy. And literally it brightens my day just seeing like that much green right outside.
And you've never sat back and pondered why it would make you feel that good to see that much nature? You've never thought that maybe the green and the chlor and the
No, because all it did was like, it just made me think like, wow, I love the tree outside and I'm so glad I live here to look at the tree outside. Like that's the extent. But I walk my dog a lot. So I'm outside like quite a few times a day doing that with him. But yeah, and I think since this dog,
Sorry, Dakota's sitting here staring at Auria, wagging her tail.
Hi, Dakota.
And now she's gonna come over and get in her face.
You want to come sit with me? Okay. Lie down. Oh, she's heavy. Dakota, can you lie down for me? Okay. Speaking of dogs.
Speaking of dogs.
I am a happier person, and I did have, my San Francisco job was really stressful, and I was talking to a coworker about it, like kind of like what you were saying, Bethany, where the stress is just chronic, and there's like nothing that I felt like I could do to stop it. Like even after work, I was stressed about work. And I was talking to her about it, and she was like, you just need to take a walk. You just need to put your stuff down, go for a walk, guilt-free. Like, even though it's the middle of the workday, go take a walk, and it's going to help a lot. And it really did.
Well, also your productivity, I think we have 7 minutes of actual focus
Oh.
before like your brain wants to focus on something else. And when you have extended periods of like long focus, you actually aren't, because then you're easily disrupted and easily, Dakota's like fully suffocating Auria right now.
It's okay.
But that's why, honestly, that's why PE existed in schools.
Oh.
We stole that from I don't remember what country, but the number you go through learn, recess. Learn, recess.
That's, yeah.
Because that is what stimulates you to actually, that's why people are like, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to work. I'm like, you have 30 minutes. I don't care what it is.
Ooh.
Like a lot of my clients right now, I have them, we're like, all right, do 10 squats at the top of the hour.
Okay.
Or lunges, or bent over row, or posture break, or get up and go to the bathroom, or here's a water bottle.
Wait, what do you mean here's a water bottle?
Go overhydrate and now you have to get up and pee.
Oh, overhydrate. Got it. Dakota, can you lie down for me? Bethany, so going into like, if someone is working, we'll just say an 8-hour shift, what do you feel like they could do workout wise that is simple enough to just like be able to do and like not get in trouble at work? Like, what would you suggest if someone's like, I need help?
Well, my first one is if you work at a desk, eat while you work, and then walk the parking lot on your lunch.
Okay.
Or if you do take a lunch break, go take your lunch and sit outside and like sit down and stand up while you're eating your lunch.
Oh.
So like you incorporate movement into something you're already doing.
Okay.
Or one of my favorites is walk the parking lot. Actually, there was a company down the street from us that would force all of their teams. Every time they had a break, you'd see this mass of people
oh my gosh,
come and walking like down the street because they were forced to get up and take a 15-minute walk outside break.
Wow, how fun.
And it would just be like this huge trove of people would come together, and then you'd see all the little like pods of clicks. And then they'd turn around and go back, but like it was mandated by their company.
Wow.
But if you have a physical job, now that's the opposite.
Ooh, okay.
On your lunch and on your breaks, just chill. Try not to doom scroll, because doom scrolling actually is more chronic stress.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
So basically, because I'm the worst, I was always the worst one at taking a lunch.
Yeah.
But I drank so much water that, and I'd also just go walk out into the warehouse and back.
Okay.
Because, that's 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Get up, take a walk, go back, sit down. Especially when you're like having that day where your eyes are going cross-eyed and you're staring at spreadsheets or websites or code or whatever.
Yeah.
If you take a couple minutes to get up and just stand in the sunshine, you will actually be more productive.
Wow. Okay, that is really, really helpful. And I would say if you do work for a company where there's mental health days as part of your benefits, please take your mental health days.
And vacation and sick.
Use all your vacation time each year, please. And use your sick days. Like, I've heard so many times people feel guilty, but for your mental health, you cannot work over and over and over and over and over again without breaks. So go on a vacation, even if you cannot afford a literal vacation, because I've heard that too. I've heard people say, I don't want to take a vacation and just sit at home. Drive an hour away and vacation there and drive home. You don't need to fly to, I don't know, Thailand to consider it a vacation. It can be a staycation. I don't know. Go visit family, go visit college friends, whatever. Just please don't work for a little bit and don't think about work when you're on your vacation.
Because mental health is
Necessary.
and
A priority.
and
Incredibly important.
just as vital as physical health.
Bethany, I know you don't know that.
I don't know that.
As
I've
we've
never known that.
realized that.
I've never known. I don't know if I'll ever figure that shit out.
Mental health is
Like me and my therapist have
extremely-
decided
okay.
we're working progresses.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. But mental health and physical health, both incredibly important. Both need to be a priority.
Which is why head to toe strength exists.
Well, yes. I mean, yeah.
Because I believe it. I just
Uh-huh.
don't practice.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Hey, I've been in therapy hardcore.
I know. No, you're doing fine. I would just like to see more work-life balance from you. But you know that. And then I could be more physically healthy. Honestly. So that will be my goal.
Well, there you go. There's our work in progress. There's
Yeah.
our goals.
Goals.
To spend more time hobbying or typically napping with Dakota now because
Yeah.
she's a snuggle bug
Oh.
and a Velcro baby.
I know.
So then how can you physically move your body more? Other than what I do to you.
Other than my sessions with you, when I have big breaks at work, I could make sure that I move, like take a little online dance class. The walking my dog is not going to stop. And
The walking your dog is being active.
yeah, it is. But I want to think of like more things because I do sit when I'm with my clients. I don't have a choice. And I sit when I do notes. So like I'm also kind of thinking like maybe in between when I have the 5 minutes in between each client, I can like walk through my house. like weave in and out of rooms or
I
something.
would love lunges through your house.
Lunges through my house. Okay.
Or make an obstacle course and you have to like squat around it. Like Dublin, go leave all your toys everywhere. And then you have to squat and pick all of them up.
Okay, a little squat game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, I got ideas for days, girl.
Okay.
I don't get to sit in my job. I do sometimes.
Yeah.
But that doesn't last long because then I get like antsy and I have to get up and start, circling you.
Yeah.
Like pray.
You get antsy and dancy.
Hell yeah. And then you
Yeah.
get to see me dancing out of the corner.
Yeah.
of your
Oh my gosh. So we play music when we work out, when we have our sessions, right?
Mhm.
So I will be lifting stuff, and in my peripheral is Bethany dancing to the song. But all I see is this like wavy, colorful thing because I'm looking straight ahead typically, and Bethany's off in her own little dance world. But it makes me laugh every time. So I just see like a back and forth something. And I'm like, okay, Bethany's dancing again.
And then me going, what are you doing? Why is your butt over there? Why is your head that way? You're like, what are you even doing right now?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I would rather be dancing than lifting whatever Bethany makes me lift, but that's okay.
Well, lifting is required because you're a woman and
I
we want
know.
healthy bones.
I know. I want to pad my bones with muscles.
And muscles are sexy.
Yeah, actually.
Dakota agrees. She wagged her tail.
Oh, I know Dakota has muscles too.
Yes, she does.
Thank you for joining us on UpLift Women's Wellness.
We're so grateful to have you as part of our community. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs it.
Follow us on social media for updates and extra inspiration between episodes.
And remember, you're stronger, braver, and more capable than you know. Until next time,
Stay strong, stay empowered, and keep uplifting each other.